Hello everyone, this is Jim Delapine, and what I'd like to do is a demo on showing you how to work with images that you acquire from the web to use in your logo design so that they're copyright proof and editable. Okay, so I'm going to start out with I'm choosing a random object that can be used called a croissant. And if you chose upper crust bakery, something like that would apply, but it doesn't matter which client you chose. This technique applies to basically just images on the web and how to work with text and so on and so forth. So I chose symbols so that I would get more pictogram and more graphic looking images of croissants, okay? But what I want to do is, if I didn't choose symbols, I'd get photographs of croissants, and I don't want that. So what you want to do is select images so that you get all of these graphic representations of croissants to choose from. In addition to that, I'm seeing different concepts, visual concepts that may spark something in you for your design. So keep that in mind. It's all about the research. It's all about the keywords that you put in there that will show you something different. All right, so I'm going to choose this because it's very graphic. Okay, so I'm going to click on that and then right click and I'm going to copy that image. So I'm doing that so that I can paste it into Illustrator. All right, so I'm going to go over to Illustrator and hit Control V to paste. All right, Control C to copy, Control V to paste. All right, so let's look at this image more closely. If I zoom in, I will see that there is stair stepping going on around all of the edges on this image. That means that this is a rasterized image as opposed to a vector image. Vector images are created using Illustrator. Illustrator is an electronic drawing program, and anything that it creates is vector based. However, I just brought a rasterized image into Illustrator. So the idea and the goal is to create a vector image out of this shape so that you can use it. All right, so let me zoom back out. And let's also work with some text. So this way I can show you the dramatic difference visually of what I'm talking about, because it may be a foreign word to you, all right, if you're not in the graphic design program. So I will go to the ellipse tool and just create a random ellipse. It's filled with black, and this is basically a shape in Illustrator that's filled with black. It has no outline or no stroke, okay? So, and it's filled with black. So I'm going to go to, under the type tool, you'll see the type and a path tool. So I'm going to choose the type and a path tool, and then I'm going to simply click on anywhere on the path of this oval here, and that automatically brings up this lorem ipsum text that allows you to type in whatever you'd like, okay, as long as that's visible. So I'm going to hit my caps lock key and type in the word bakery, all uppercase, and then I'm going to click on the direct selection tool. So once you clicked on the direct selection tool, or that tool with the white arrowhead, it allows you to manipulate this text along this path here. Note that that oval is no longer filled with black. It's no longer a shape. This is a path for text. Now, what you want to do is look for these bars that extend out from the oval here. And now what I'm going to do is hover above that and click. And once you see that horizontal line with the arrowhead attached to it, that allows you to click and drag. So hold down your cursor and drag. And I'm going to drag and rotate this text along that path until it's roughly visually centered, and then let go. Okay, so I'm happy with that. We'll leave that as is, and now I will zoom in. Now also make note, I can still go in here and double click on this, and I can scale this up. I can make this larger. So with any text selected in Illustrator, you can hit Control T, and that will bring up the character panel. Okay, it also may be attached somewhere along the side panel here, and I've just attached it to that. Let me just bring this out here and isolate it. All right, here we go. So I can increase the point size. I can make it larger if I want, smaller if I want. All right, so what I'm saying is basically this is still editable text. I can even change the font if I want. Now what we're going to do is make this art, or editable shapes as opposed to text. Okay? Before I do that, I want you to look at the edges of these shapes here. Notice how the text is very clean and not stair-stepped like the croissant is. Okay? So this is the visual difference between a rasterized image and a vector-based image. The vector-based image, any vector-based image can be scaled up 1,000% without any loss of quality. A rasterized image can be scaled up and you will lose quality. So these are all these little stair steps. These are all tiny pixels. All right. So these, they'll get larger as you scale it up and degrade even more. Okay. So let me hit Control 0, fit that in the window, and zoom in again. And now what we'll do is this. I'm going to show you how to create a vector art out of this croissant image. Okay. And it's very simple. I'm going to go to Object, Image Trace, and select Make and Expand. Make will not give you what you want. We want Make and Expand because that will give you the shapes that are created using anchor points, and it will allow you to edit the shape. Okay, so I'm going to select that, and now what we have is a vector image. So let me first undo that, all right, and show you what it looks like in outline mode. It's View, Outline, or Control Y. All right, so that's, you notice the the raster image you cannot see. So Control Y. Now what we'll do is go back to Object, Image, Trace, Make and Expand. I'm hitting Control Y, and now I'm seeing all of the editable shapes here. Okay, so let me go back here. My computer hiccuped for a second there. Okay, what's going on here? All right, so now I've created vector art out of it. If I click away, note that, and zoom in, note that all of these lines are now clean and there is no stair stepping. So this is now vector art. Okay, so this can be scaled up to whatever percentage I'd like with no loss of quality. Now to edit this, you have to go an extra step. Okay, you have to go to Object, Ungroup, because this is by default grouped. All right, so I'm going to ungroup everything, click away, then go back in and select this part again. So what this is the negative space or the outline shape of this croissant. Okay, and it looks like that. Okay, I'm dragging it to the side here. I mean, there's no, I mean, it's basically filled with white. All right, but now if I hit Control Y, you can see what I'm left with here is the actual croissant shape. All right, I don't know if I explained that well enough, but basically you want to get rid of this. So I'm going to delete that. And now this is what you want to work with. This is what you can edit. Okay, so notice each one's individual. When I drag my cursor across, the direct selection tool will select certain anchor points. So notice these are hollow. Let me zoom in a little closer. These are white or hollow. That means they're not selected. If they're solid, they're selected. So let me just move bakery down a little bit. So if I go down here to the bottom and select this bottom anchor point, I can move that by clicking and dragging. Whoops. I still had bakery selected. Oh, it's a little bit too close here. Let me just move this a little further down. All right. So now if I select this, now I can drag that anchor point and edit that shape. Okay. Again, I am in outline mode, so let me go back to Control Y to preview this. All right. And actually, let me undo that moving of the shape because I can also move that selected anchor point using the arrow keys. Okay. I'm hitting my down arrow key. All right. So just make note of that. Okay, let me drag this up here. And I'll connect that. I mean, not that that's a design, but I want you to look at other options and how to work with text now to create unusual designs. I'm going to hit Control Y. And now what we'll do is create artwork out of the text. Okay, so now you know how you can get an image from the web and edit it so that it's vector art and know how to work with it. So just that move there means that now you're safe to use this. Okay. Of course, if you're in school, you're not breaking any laws. You're basically using it for homework. But if you're doing that to make money, then you're breaking the law. Okay, so let's create artwork out of this text. Very simply, you select the text, go up to Type, Create Outlines. You'll see an immediate change, and there you go. So now, as long as you have anchor points, you can edit a shape. This looks a little baffling. If I click away, deselect, you'll see that. And now Control Y, essentially it looks the same. And then pull an anchor point up and basically change the shape, all right, to whatever you want, okay? Not that it's any kind of design, but it's up to your imagination to come up with something interesting. I think that that should take you pretty far as working with images from the web and working with text and making the text unusual. Just remember that creating a logo design is creating something that's unique and different. It takes experimentation. It takes playing. Okay? All right, guys. I hope that helped. Take care. Bye.